I'm gonna dodge. I'm gonna dodge.
Okay. Oh!
Oh.
Oh, you rolled so poorly! And I can see that 20 sitting
Andre
there.
sucks. She's
Oh, God.
the worst character I've ever
These
made.
dice tonight, man.
Uh,
Okay. So,
I'm gonna
anyway,
be.
so yeah, you go
I'm
and
Thanksgiving dinner.
so you go and you try to jump to the side to not get grabbed by this thing. Unfortunately, it's like there's a bit of rubble that's nearby. You go to jump to dive under it, underneath it. Unfortunately, as you dive, your airborne self gets snatched up, and whenever
There
this
would
thing's
be a
claws or
there would be a sort of yelp trying to be hushed of just a cattle. Just get to a grab.
as it grabs you, it starts to take off. Cattle, you see that? There's no question in your mind. All of a sudden, you see her go and like kind of carried off. I'm gonna need the both of you guys to roll me a initiative. Ollie, you're gonna have to do yours a little different than usual. For your initiative, actually roll me 2d8, drop the lower one.
Okay, I don't even know how to do that.
Slash
I can do
roll
initiative.
slash roll 2d8 dl1.
DL1.
Ah, you rolled 2 2, so it didn't even matter. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Don't forget to apply your dexterity to that. So,
So two.
okay, cool. So you get a 2 for your roll, and then I'm gonna do my creature. Sorry.
Make sure to add me, just in case.
I will take care of that for you, sir. Un segunda. I forgot to roll my initiative. It's only 3 of you, so it's easy to keep track of, anyways.
Mm.
Oh, 4. So actually, Cattle, as this thing grabs her and starts to take off, it only gets to the distance of about 10 meters away, and most of that's actually along the ground because as it like swoops down to grab her, it's like it can like dive bomb and come straight back up with all this extra weight, right? So it continues like flapping and flying down the street. You actually get to act now as she's kind of grabbed. This creature's large enough that you're not like really concerned about like her versus firearms in case that was a thought of yours. But yeah, it's big and it's got her and it's flying down the street.
I was more concerned about the sound those firearms would make, personally.
Yeah, I thought about that too. We need to get like a silenced pistol for cattle. It's so perfect.
I was thinking
for
of bringing a light pistol instead of a heavy pistol, but
I think it's still loud.
Loud, but it's not gonna be as big of a boom, right? Don't forget too that Mass Effect weapons, sans the sniper rifle and the shotgun, but more the sniper rifle, they're not as loud as standard projectile weapons that you find in, because it's not like it's gunpowder goes off and shoots it, right?
That's true. You're not propelling something through the sound barrier, so it doesn't make as big a noise.
I mean, you're
Would I,
certainly
as
hitting
Apple,
fast.
relatively know like roughly how far away they would be able to hear a shot?
Roll me a lore intelligence, and actually both of you guys can do this, and I'm going to give you a +2 on it. I said lore, damn it. Yes, lore. Lore's correct. Now I said
Yeah, you did say lore.
You would have right.
Cattle's very knowledgeable about firearms.
Yep, I'm letting Ollie roll first. I'll describe.
Oh, why am I doing this?
Oh, just because
I'm
you guys
bird.
would both know this. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm bird. What was it?
It was lore.
Andre's being grabbed by a bird. Oh my god, the sound of a firearm only goes
+2.
so far.
I love how Frank's head is literally just a head. So
Bird.
both of you guys are able to know that with if you were in an open field or whatever, completely open area where sound could just travel outwards, they could still definitely hear it. Maybe a quarter of a mile away, they'd be able to hear something if it was like dead silent, and you had done like multiple rounds, like an assault rifle, like doof, 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 doof. You'd be able to hear it. A single shot. Again, in an open field, it's going to. I mean, they might hear something, maybe.
I mean, I guess we
however,
are in space
reverberations-
ruins.
Yeah, reverberations. Up
So
metal,
there's got to be
so-
weird noises all the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and
it's
there's
not
also
gonna be able to
buildings
travel as
blocking the
far.
sound waves.
It's gonna be super loud with where you guys are, reverberating back at you, but not as loud like going outwards, right?
Alright, I'm gonna shoot it with my heavy pistol. I'm gonna use one of the dice of the pool of luck.
Oh,
So
sure.
that's another D6.
Sure. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, reminder, and I know this is going to be a little bit, you have to feel it out, But so the way the pool of dice works is if it's a skill check, you announce it beforehand. If it's an attack roll, you announce it afterwards. But before I tell you whether or not it hits.
Okay.
Okay.
In that case, I'm just going to roll my attack first.
It's a 13. Do you still want to apply that to see whether or not you hit? Big flying bird thing. Not wearing armor, obviously. It just has whatever it's natural.
I was about to say, it's a big flying bird not wearing any armor. I think I'm good.
Okay, I'm actually going to tell you that you are good. You are good, so you can hit it. You're good. You're good. Ooh.
Looks like we're having turkey for dinner.
Oh, God. That is a lot of damage to do to this creature. God, that is so much health. So the thing takes a shot. It's like a... And it takes a shot, and it's literally... It's like reflexes, and it drops down a considerable amount. And it's literally this moment where it's not dead yet. Like, it's still trying to, like, struggle to fly back upwards. But because it took that hit and it goes down, it's actually dragging her along the ground for a little bit. Because of that, you can either make me one of two checks, Ollie. Either a evasion check to try to avoid pain of being dragged, or a what's the physical check called?
Physical save.
Physical save, thank you. To try to actually grab onto something as like a get the fuck off me. To like break free.
I mean, I was half considering just charging it with a small primitive weapon, but that would not have been good. We have to be silent.
I'm gonna evasion save.
Evasion save.
I'm trash at both.
Speaking of trash, dice.
All right.
Yeah, no, not surprised.
So you make your evasion save, and it's dragging you along the ground. It's like doof, 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 as you're like hitting things and getting scraped along the ground. Your armor's getting scuffed up and whatnot. You're going to take from me, roll 1d6. Your armor absorbs how much? Is it 4?
4.
Okay, so you actually take no damage, but your armor gets like scratched up and whatnot. And that
the
obviously
armor
adds
is
towards
like
your D.
sparking against the ground.
Right? That adds towards your damage threshold of your armor, right? Okay, so so you get scratched up along the ground. Luckily, you take no actual injuries. It's now your turn. Sorry, it's now the bird's turn. It's the bird's turn. So the bird is continuing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the bird's turn.
Yep, it's the bird's turn. So the bird's actually going to once again like try to lift up, and still is going to try to hold on to its prey. But I have to make a physical save myself. Oh, wrong mouse. Physical save myself against this. So to lift you up. Never gonna lift you up. Never gonna drag you down. Oh! You see it slowly roll off of that 1 onto that 13? Oh, that was gorgeous. Okay, I mean, sorry, Ollie. So it struggles hard, but it does, despite that injury it took into its back and by its wing, it's able to force itself up enough that it can actually like lift up. It's going even further from you at first, Rick, but then it's able to lift itself up enough that it starts to gain like some distance off of the ground and flying up over trying to fly up over the buildings. Hasn't gotten that high up yet. It's actually not gotten very high up yet, but a distance. You can't calculate it. You're in the middle of flying. Rick, it's starting to fly like between buildings, like visible, not visible, visible. Starting to fly between buildings as it's trying to gain altitude. So it's kind of like half the time you can see it, half the time you can't. Ollie, it's now your turn.
Sword to bird.
So you kind of like, now are you going to use the sword or the blade? Because you can do either.
Oh, I didn't even know I could use a regular Omni Blade. I assumed I only had the sword, and I am going to say that forever because it makes more sense. So I'm going to use the sword.
The blade is attached onto it. The sword is a separate thing that can be stored into it and used, right?
Oh, okay, yep. I guess.
But you can use the sword. That's fine.
Sword.
Okay, so you pop out the sword, and you go to attack with it, but you're going to have to roll me a check before you can do that. I'm sorry.
Maybe I'll change my mind if I knew that.
It's going to be an exert check to be able to exert yourself, to be able to like get the weapon out and do it. You can choose dexterity or strength.
It changes nothing. I'm on parade. So I don't use my sword. I fucking biotic punch it.
This is what happens. You go to pull your sword out, And you successfully get it out. But the thing's like flapping and throwing around so much, you actually drop the attachment that has a sword onto it, onto the ground down below. Oh yeah, you drop it onto the ground below, and you're like, ah, shit. That you're.
Then I biotic catch it.
Oh, you want to biotic catch the sword instead of
that's more important than me bunching the bird. Yeah.
Awesome. You don't even need to make a save for that one. You just spend an exert to make sure that you have the control that you need to. You easily catch the thing as it's starting to fall through the ground. You're like, that's more important than my life! And like you grab the thing, and it comes back up to your hand, all Jedi style. No question. And
But yeah, that is really like a bloody Empire Strikes Back moment. I'm upside down being carried by a monster anyway.
You can, if you would like, to activate the sword right now, but you can't make your attack because that was your turn.
I still don't even know how combat turns work in Stars by Number. I'm assuming that doesn't really care. It doesn't even really matter. I can do that next turn if I want to attack with it anyway.
Yep. So. More or less think bonus action, action, and move. Think very much like 5e.
Yep. That's what I thought. So I'm done. Don't mind me. I'll just bird.
So Rick, your turn. Like I said, sometimes it's visible, sometimes it's not, and it's definitely getting further from you.
I would like to move in such a way that he is more visible than not visible.
Unfortunately, you can try to do that. Make me a check really quickly. So it's kind of like stopping and thinking for a moment. Do a survival intelligence check. So you kind of like look around and you're like, it's kind of like you're trying to quickly process what seems to be the best path, but it's literally one of those things where you realize you're wasting more time thinking than you are going to be able to do with action. And currently she's now about like 80 meters away. So she's getting further, still within range of your pistol, but she's getting far from you. It's more distance than height, by far.
Okay, yeah, I'm just going to shoot it again.
Sure. So you kind of like look around, you kind of go like, fuck it. And you just start like running forward to at least close the gap a little bit and then take your shot at it. Oh, not the natty one. Oh, fuck. Rick, do me a favor.
He shoots me.
Rick, do me a favor.
He's got to shoot me, right? It's the only thing that makes sense.
Roll me a dexterity save, please, Rick. Evasion save.
Either he shoots me or he takes the shot and turns around and there's just a guard there like, what are you doing?
Rick, roll your damage, please.
I am going to die here.
Your shields absorb all 10 points of damage as he's like lining up and he's trying to hit this bird, but the birds are higher up now. So instead of just having his complete back exposed, and
he shoots me.
He shoots you. But luckily, your mass effect shield is able to block the entire attack. Ouchies. It's now the bird's turn.
I'm gonna die to the bird, and I'm not even that mad.
So the bird is trying to, once again, it's still injured, and it's having a hard time flying, and is really trying to get itself to a safe spot away from what's shooting at it, because it just hears a loud noise, knows that it hurts. So he's trying to get away, and it finally goes over to an area where it can land. It lands on a sky bridge, a good distance from, it's actually kind of out of the view of cattle at the moment, but because it went like around a building, but it lands in a sky bridge for a moment. As it lands on the bridge, it's a very heavy oomph, but nothing that actually, because your armor protects you, nothing that actually harms you. But then the bird, kind of like this bird-like creature, let me describe it for you finally. So you look up at the thing, and this creature's wingspan is about 16 feet wide. It is a very large wingspan. It itself is standing at about, like, from the tip of its small tail to the end of its beak, is standing at about 9 feet long. So it is a very large creature. Looking down at you, its eyes are very weird, very different. The color of the eyes and everything about them. Make me a lore intelligence check really quickly.
You forget, Scott. I'm stupid.
You can actually look into the bird, and you can tell by its eyes, because of like the different species that you've come across, it has the ability to see in multiple spectrums. It's very clearly can see in multiple spectrums, which is wonderful. And the whole thing, it looks as though like you can't see what its skin is because it's all hidden underneath a very, very fluffy looking fur. like a very, when I say fluffy, I mean like chinchilla fluffy looking fur. Very small, thin hairs that look extremely soft. It almost looks like cuddly if it isn't for the fact that now that huge, long, powerful beak that almost hooks at the end is forcefully coming down and trying to peck at you and is going to attack you. So let me make my attack roll against Ollie.
My AC is 14.
Oop, I forgot to apply that right here. Let's do beak. Unarmed, strength. That's there. Unarmed is right. Come on, you bastard. Nothing like a DM who's prepared, right?
What's that?
Yeah, I know. All right, here's my attack roll. Oh, jeez. It just barely, so it comes like crushing and crunching down at you, and your armor takes like some serious, like you can hear the armor cracking and fighting against it. But like at one point in time, it actually comes down and tries to like bite your face off because you're not wearing your helmet, and you like throw an arm up in defense. But luckily for you, like the armor, you can feel the pressure in your arm. It's like you know you're gonna get a bruise from this. You can feel the pressure in your arm, but luckily it's not able to get through. It has so much force. It's almost like smashing you in your forehead with your arm itself, as you can feel its breath from its beak coming down at you. Its smell is disgusting. There's a bit of saliva that's dripping onto your face.
This is not what I was expecting for the Mass Effect campaign.
Nope. Dealing with different fauna from other worlds. Why not?
I know. I'm not even mad.
Ollie, it is your turn.
Gonna give it the biotic punch.
Okay, give it the biotic punch.
It doesn't make a save or anything. It's just 2d6 damage.
Absolutely.
No,
Wow.
it used to harm immobile, unliving objects. I'd never read that one part of the sentence. I can't biotic punch.
No, so what's its save?
There's nothing. You can't do it.
What?
It's
No.
not. It's not a thing.
No, it's definitely a thing.
It's not a thing.
It has to be a thing.
It's not a thing. Read my telekinesis. I copied it from the fucking book. Well, I copied it from your book.
Give me 2 seconds. I want to double check this because this is super important.
Because remember, I don't have a biotic punch talent. I only have telekinesis and barrier.
Yep. Well, and then yeah, it's like telekinesis is its own thing.
But
so.
telekinesis came with something that I thought was biotic punch. You can't use it on living targets.
Let me see. So telekinesis. Are you gonna meld with it, Ollie?
I can fucking ride it to Valhalla.
Are you using the telekinetic manipulation for that?
Well, I'm not doing anything right now because
there's lift and there's throw, which are the first.
No, I'm
ones.
just saying, Scott, like regular telekinesis.
Oh, because warp is the other one, and slam is the other one. Those are like
I don't have those, so I can't do it.
Yeah.
But I thought I could because the wording makes it seem like you could until I realized that it does say you can't. So that's for like smashing boxes up.
Yep, but you
It
can.
just happens.
So typically speaking, a Mass Effect field, your armor doesn't protect against things like a beak, but barrier's different than that. Barrier's an actual biotic field that you set up. So if you can activate your barrier, that actually does protect you against physical attacks as well. It's better than just like the emitter is on your armor.
I didn't know that.
Or you can attack it with your sword.
So usually I would use barrier if I thought that there was any point in holding out. But at this point, Enterey is fairly sure Cattle is very far away because
I've
she's
been forcibly removed from
against
this
the
combat.
ground and has no idea where she is and all that sort of thing. So instead of defending herself to fight another day, she just, sword in hand, just thrusts at the thing.
You make me your attack roll. And don't forget you have those points you guys haven't used yet. Ooh, a 13. Now, I'm going to tell you this, Ollie. A 13, you out of game know that hit with Rick. Rick was shooting at a flying creature not pinned down.
Yeah. If anything, it would have higher AC because it's moving really fast. So.
Okay, so you're happy with your 13 then? You don't want to modify it?
Yeah.
You're...
Unless it has more AC now that it's biting me.
Well, you're basically like grappled or whatever, so it would probably be a bit harder to hit it with a sword.
I mean, that makes sense.
So I'm asking, did you want to use your
No,
D6?
I'm not going to use the dumb luck system.
You're not going to use
Until
it?
I need it.
Okay. So you go to attack this thing with your sword, and you activate it. So all of a sudden the Omnigel makes the sword for you, and you go thrusting up with the thing, and you have a clear shot at its belly, and you go to pierce the belly, and you can actually see the tip of the blade start to cut into its hide, and then it's like Talon like nonchalantly like moves over slightly and grabs your shoulder and slams it back down, and the weapon, like, you poked it, but it didn't actually pierce up to like
it has higher AC now. It's not moving fucking.
Well, you've got penalties for being pinned down.
You get penalty for being pinned down. So
I mean, I didn't even know I was pinned down. So
I described that as you landed.
You described me.
Are you scotting right now?
I thought I was standing up.
All right,
I'm scotting because I did tell you that my sound cuts out on Skype every 2 minutes. Yeah, by the way,
Skype sound is awful. I hate Skype sound. Rick, it's your turn.
I didn't know I was pinned down. I got up and then it bit me in the face. So I didn't know I was pinned down. Yeah, I still did it.
Rick, it's your turn.
Can I even do anything at this point?
You saw where it went. You have to go and try to like run over there as quickly as you can to line up a shot. You have a couple of ways you can go about this. One, you could stop and analyze and try to find like the fastest way to get there, so on and so forth. Or two, you can just hard ass haul it and hope that you can line up a shot that way.
I'll just hard ass haul it.
Hard ass haul it.
That's going to be an exert check for me, and you can actually choose either strength or dexterity. That's going to choose the path that you go along to get there.
Definitely going dexterity.
Sure. Gorgeous. So this is what happens. You're looking around. You don't see, like, you saw, like, it went off to the side and then didn't come back out the other side. And you actually almost remember you seeing its flight, the way it was moving, its actual body's, like, angling changed slightly. And you've seen that before. A bird when it's trying to land, or different types of avian when they're trying to land. And you're like, fuck, it's stopped. And maybe its nest is nearby. Who knows? And so you just, like, I gotta go. And you look around and you're looking for the easiest way to get over there. And you see that there's a bit of rubble that's kind of like broken all over the place. And you're like, that's like the quickest path. I'm going for it. And so you go running, hauling as fast as you can. I mean, you yourself was so close to death once, and it was frightening. And you actually care about her to one degree or another, or at least she's useful. And so you go running towards that rubble as quickly as you can. And honestly, it's one of those things where a regular person might not be able to navigate how quickly your legs have to move to jump from one spot to the next spot to the next spot to loop up and get to where you need to go. However, luckily, Solarians' minds work so quickly, you can process and analyze how much oomph you need to put into each step as you go, and your legs actually move quick enough that you can get them where they need to land. You go running as fast as you can, kind of looping your way up and looking around. Quickly looking, you see way the fuck up there on a sky bridge. There it is. Its flank is exposed to you as it's kind of like pecking down at something on the sky bridge. You could assume that it's her. You can't see her, which is good news because there's no chance of hitting her. But it's right there and exposed to you. It is still, we're talking exactly 100, maybe 95 to 100 meters away. So no penalties with this shot right now, but it is a good distance from you.
Yeah, I'm just going to shoot it.
Sure.
I've already shot Andre once. There's no chance of it doing it twice. So it can't possibly go any more wrong than it already has.
You can never shoot your friend twice. Like lightning. Yeah, that's good.
You hit. Roll me your damage, sir.
Finally.
Oh my god.
I'm very consistent with the damage, apparently.
I'll describe the scene, but you describe the kill.
Alright. I'll probably, since I'm firing at it from a downward angle, I'll probably just hit it in the exposed belly where the sword just fling off from.
Sure. So this is what happens. As you're like lying there getting pinned down and you try to bust out your sword and you go to stab up at it, but its talon, literally just like one of its talons like moved over slightly and just like put more pressure down. Your arm like flop back down helplessly underneath the weight and strength of this big creature. You're like, ugh, and the thing comes chomping down at you again. This time, when you get your arm up in time to block the thing, the way it's crushing on your elbow and your upper arm and whatnot, you literally are thinking to yourself, I don't know how much longer I can hold out. Either it's going to kill me or I'm going to lose my arm. You're actually getting really concerned at this point. The sword was knocked from your hands. You think you might be able to reach over and grab it, but you're so defensive right now against the beat coming down at you. And then all of a sudden, you don't even hear the gunshot go off. You don't hear anything like that. All of a sudden, the attacks kind of stop. and then like the attacks stop, and you like freeze for a couple moments, and you look like outwards, downwards to see like across your body. There's a whole bunch of stuff dripping onto you. You realize like intestines are dangling out of this thing, a whole bunch of viscera is just coming out of its belly, and you notice that moments before the thing just kind of like hard flops down onto where you are. Not directly on top of you, flops down. It's more of like a flop to the side. So it lands like next to you with one of its wings draped over you. But hard flops right there. Your whole body, like from like chest down, is completely covered in viscera. Legs kind of tangled up in intestines and everything. And the thing is not moving whatsoever. With that that kill, with that cover of viscera.
Second.
Oh, please.
Cattle gets on the radio. That wasn't quite the turkey shoot I wanted it to be.
Neither I or Entourage get the fucking joke.
All right. So with that, we can call it there. It is the day before Thanksgiving. I have a ton of prep I have to do with my bird, the food, all that stuff. I have to finish cleaning the house and everything. So
He wants his board.
what? He wants his
He
what?
wants his
Wants his
board.
board.
Yeah, my bird. Yes. We
Look,
Space Vikings.
We're in America. You speak English, not that
I
Russian.
want
crap.
my board.
I want my board.
So,
Sorry, this is like one of my favorite quotes ever.
It's such a stupid quote.
Yeah.
I love that villain too. The
He's
Not the-
actually probably. I love that movie.
oh, I'm
I
talking.
probably shouldn't.
No,
I
it was
do.
one of the worst ones, but the villains were great. The rest of it was awful.
So,
Anyway.
because of the fact that we're ending early, we have so much extra time to spare. Frank, why don't you go first?
Oh, good. Hi, I'm Controller Frank. I barely spoke this entire episode. You can find me at Controller Frank on Twitter and Twitch. I sometimes stream. Eventually, someday, maybe we're going to get back at that. Community manager for Margaret Crow and Space Vikings. You can come find me there. We do fun events. Really going hard in Destiny, so always looking for extra people that want to join the raids and strikes. And that's it.
Awesome. Rick, who are you? How can we find you?
Hi, I'm Rick. I also go by Derp Digital on the YouTubes and on the Twitches. I'm currently not doing a whole lot because I'm kind of out of it mentally the last couple of weeks. It's not great. Don't know really why. It's just don't really have any focus. So yeah, I do have a video sitting ready to render. Just need to do it at some point. Eventually, I'll get back to that. I'll be going back to like at least one video per day on YouTube. I might take a look at Nimbadas. I've been offered a key for that a while back. It's a spaceship game, so that should be interesting. I might stream again at some point. I've been thinking for a long time about streaming Darkest Dungeon or something, or some other game, but consistency is a problem there. So you should definitely follow me there for when I do eventually pop up there and be like, hello, I'm not dead.
Nobody's more inconsistent.
Been waiting for
than
those
Dean
days
Cuddy.
for a long time.
Yeah, nobody's more inconsistent than Dean Cuddy when it comes to posting videos. So, and I love Dean's stuff too. So, but yep, definitely go find and follow.
Dean
Rick right
is
there.
worth the wait.
Yeah. Or is it saying? But
Hashtag I will wait for Dean.
what was I about to say to you, Rick? Oh, Rick, do you play any? Because I know you like a lot of spacefaring kind of stuff, sci-fi stuff. Do you play any games where you actually get to design ships and whatnot?
I'm pretty sure Nimbadas is a lot like that. There's also another
Spore.
game that popped up a while back.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You should totally, because I know that Spore, that's funny. You should totally play a game where you get to design a ship, and then maybe Cattle can you can stream or record designing the ship that Cattle's going to go searching for. So for replacing this one when you finally are done with the rusty
We're not
bag
replacing
bolts.
this ship.
Of course, never.
This ship
Never.
is.
We're
lasting
never getting
all of
rid of this
season
bros
2 unless
bucket.
it blows up. Season 3, that could be a different
So
ship.
when Krax comes to realize you guys are never going to replace the ship, suddenly somebody accidentally activated a few grenades on the ship. Like,
Yeah,
oh, I don't
suddenly
know.
Things break.
Oh, I don't know. Just everyone died in the bedroom.
no.
Me and the Turian are the only ones left.
Ollie, who are you? How can we find you?
I'm Ollie. Most importantly, at 7 p.m. GMT, my D&D show will be live, not starring Scott, which is a fucking godsend. So the plot will happen without anyone distracting it, unless it doesn't.
No dire
Because my
turkeys.
D&D show, which is set in my homebrew world, which is kind of like a little bit of a dark fantasy. How dark? They're currently dealing with a city where people are raising from the dead, and it's a whole fucking crisis of how do we deal with these undead people that are actually people. They're not zombies. They have intelligence and things. And that's kind of the
Undead
entire
people too.
That's actually the whole argument of which side of the player is going to be on. Who knows? You'll find out then. And we have a whole bunch of roleplay and art and all that cool stuff
Yeah,
for that.
I don't know if this is okay. See, Sally is definitely going to have an opinion on this matter, and he's not going to be able to be there to shed that light on others.
Right now, Sally's considered the undead kind of like, ooh, this is an automaton powered by magic, and I want to know how it works.
I've literally had my elbow deep in one.
Inside one of them. Like, crawled in. Anyway.
Like, oh, this works still? This is interesting.
My birthday's on Saturday, so Friday, instead of my regular art stream, I'm going to be doing a little bonus fun stream with Jackbox. If any of you guys are free, I know Scott's like, maybe not.
I do have a one-shot of Stars Without Number for Rolford coming up then, but I'll try to swing by.
Listen, it's super important as an atheist that I get my Christmas tree as early as possible. Super important.
So we're going to be doing that, and then we'll be on Eberron, and then I do art streams. We'll do another Mario stream, although in the next few weeks I will change what the game stream is on Sundays.
Awesome. And I'm Delric. You've already found me, but if you're looking for me some more, just Google Delric. If you don't know how to spell it, it says it right there. This isn't TTP. This is my name right here. Right there. I don't know, whatever. I'm super excited. This is the first time I got to do it. I did it for a short stream just to try it out. I'm excited I got to do like a standing DM thing. I've always stood DMing like my entire life. So the idea of at least running one game where I could stand while DMing, this is amazing. I'm so happy I get to be like
I do that too. It's so annoying.
For your Monday game, the one where
my Monday game and the Thursday day game is going to start. I walk around while I play D&D if I can.
Yeah. Like, I need to be able to move. You know, I'm kind of tethered in because I'm not currently using wireless headphones, but I could easily just grab those and use those too, because I let Eric borrow them or whatever. But technically speaking, Aaron's the one that gave them to me, but you know. But, you know, I got to be able to move and pace as, like, I freak out. So I'm excited because starting next week, and this is why I'm bringing it up, starting next week, not only do we do Mass Effect in the morning and Always Game in the afternoon, but Lost Initiative is moving to Wednesday nights. So I'm going to be streaming 3 games on Wednesdays. I hope you can come by and stick around and watch the ones that you love to watch the most. 2 of them I DM in, 1 of them I PC in. So, you know, choose your flavor. But other than that, I think we're good.
Oh, and don't forget, on Monday, there's the special Omen of Ilmator game.
Oh, that's right.
That me and Scott are in on this channel.
I gotta change the timer down below. So, yeah, that's right. So on Monday, we already had the first session that was an interesting noise I made. We already had the first session 2 days ago. This upcoming Monday, it's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the rest of them will kind of like be scheduled out. It's a total of 4 streams. First one's already done, so we have 3 left. It's a lot of fun. Ollie and I and Maggie play with my brother Kunsai, or Eric. He plays, he's DMing it. It's super religious.
If you're like, oh, I really want to watch your D&D stuff, but it's so long, here's a little bite-sized story. It's not quite a one-shot. It's not quite a campaign.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. It started off very, very well. All right, we can end this now. There's one last thing I'm going to do before we go. Frank, you said you forgot to say something. What was that thing you forgot to say?
Oh no, I forgot to say. Yeah, next week I have a surprise for everyone. For next week's episode.
I don't like that.
We'll see.
Like, at all. I don't like Franken surprises.
We'll see what it is.
You get a quad. You get a quad. You get a quad.
Did you get my GM whisper earlier?
That's worrying. Okay, let's end the stream right here, just in case.
Oh, I don't know if I did.
Got in the stream.
There's dancer outfits for Crow.
That was the hint.
You did.
I don't know. I don't know if I did. I don't know.
I definitely sent it.
I don't know.